I'm SirVern, and today I'm going to review Days Gone. It's a PS4 game. I played it on my PS5 via backwards compatibility, so I'll get to one category that's going to be a little better probably on my list than yours if you play it on a base PS4. I know there's a 60 frames per second patch for PS5, and the resolution is going to be a little better, but I'll get to that. So I'm going to go over 5 categories as usual: graphics, performance, gameplay / story, replayability, and fun factor. Average them up, give you a score, and then talk a little about each category, and then some notes at the end. So, Days Gone. It is an action RPG kind of set, post-apocalyptic. They're definitely set post-apocalyptic. I didn't play this initially because I think it got mediocre reviews from a lot of people, and honestly, I was just tired of zombie games. I like The Last of Us. I don't love The Last of Us like most people do. But at the time, I think it came out in 2019, I was just kind of over zombie games and everything, whether it be Call of Duty, The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know. I know it came out a little later, but zombies were just death by day by daylight, dead by daylight. I don't know. It was just insane how many zombie games there were. Anyway, so let's start with the first category. Graphics. So the graphics in this game are excellent. They're very good, especially for a game that came out last gen now for the PS4. It is a good looking game. The environments especially look really good. Water, the animals. It's not perfect. I don't think any game's going to be perfect. Like some of the animations, like the fire looks kind of, off a bit to me. Some of the character models, repeat. Like you'll save a lot of people and it'll be the same. Like, I just saved that guy. So that's the only reason I knocked it down a tad bit, but the graphics are phenomenal. It has a photo mode and you can take advantage of that. And it's got, different apertures and film grain and all kind of stuff you can do in photo mode to really show off the graphics in the game. The graphics look really good overall. I'm going to give graphics an 8. The next category I'm going to go into is performance, how the game performs. I think performance is good, not great. Most of the time it does just fine. But you'll run into a few graphical hiccups here and there. A little bit of pop-in still, even on the PS5. Not terrible, but it works very well. I think I remember seeing reviews talk about performance, how bad it was back in the day. I didn't run into any crazy glitches. Here and there, a few character models would get stuck, standing up, or I would die and still be alive, my character model's still alive. And I'm like, what is going on? So I did run into a few issues, and then weirdly, the last mission, or one of the last missions in the game was super tough, and I died a ton, and it offered easy mode. I was like, how dare you, game, offer me easy mode. But it, when I backed out of the game, easy mode, I couldn't get out of it. It was just stuck up there. So anyway, you'll run into a few performance issues here and there, but overall, just fine. So I knocked it down a little bit and gave it an 8 as well. The next category, gameplay or / the story. So man, this game, I don't know what people are talking about, because I think, I'm going to have to go back and watch a review after this. I haven't looked at a review in 2 years over this game. But I think they were saying the story's kind of stale, or it takes forever to get where it's going. Man, I thought the story was awesome. I thought it was good the whole time. I did most of the content in the game. I want to platinum the game. I probably will go back and platinum it. But the story is awesome. It's really good. The voice actors do a good job. Make you believe the characters. You run into a whole bunch of unique characters. It's a good story. So I loved the story. It kept me on the tip of my toes the whole time. And then gameplay is fun. The gameplay loop is awesome. I love all the different weapons and different stuff you can use to take down zombies. The big thing with this game is they try to do like a lot of enemies on screen. They call them like hordes, lots of enemies. The ways you can take them down are really cool. The different explosives. The gameplay loop is fun. You know, they'll tell you to go on a mission to, you know, get this or find this guy, that kind of thing, or kill this guy or enemy, or clear out like a nest of enemies. It is fun. I love the loop of the game. All the guns feel really good to shoot. Your bike just is like your horse in Red Dead Redemption. You just you upgrade it. I love this game. There's so much to upgrade and buy and take advantage of. It's fun. So this is going to be one of the highest categories. I give gameplay / story a 9. All right. The next category is replayability. Now, keep in mind, this is a single-player game, which I prefer. I would rather a game not have online, honestly. Unless it's a shooter, that'd be the only time that like online's really worth it to me. You know, there's a few exceptions, like RTS games and that kind of thing, but I'm kind of over online at this point in my life. I like a game to have online, maybe. If it's maybe an online, like Battlefield 2042. At first I was upset, this is a tangent, that it didn't have single player. And then I kind of got to the point, well, maybe multiplayer only is good sometimes. Anyway, back to the game. I like single player games. So replayability, you know, might take a little hit because it's a single player game, right? You beat it, you know the story. But this game does offer a lot of things. Like after you beat the game, of course, you can keep going and complete all the side quests that you didn't complete the first time through. So you can go through, upgrade your bike some more, do all the quests you didn't get to. Because you'll get to certain points in the story where it'll warn you to say you cannot go back for a while, you know, or until the end of the game. So after you beat it, it's pretty cool. You can keep going. So don't worry about missing side quests and that kind of thing. So the replayability is there in that respect, because once you beat the game, you can keep playing it and complete it. And you can also go into New Game Plus, which is really cool. And I guess you keep your power-ups or everything you've upgraded and unlocked, and enemies become stronger. But that, I'm not sure if I would do that, you know. I'll have to see what the Platinum requires. But it's a long game. You know, I put about 60 to 65 hours into the game, maybe a little more, maybe 70 to beat it. And I probably did 85 to 90% of the side quests. So, you know, if New Game Plus requires you to do all that over again, I may go back and do that, but I have such a backlog of games that I don't know if I'm going to spend another 60 hours doing that, if that makes sense. So replayability for me, I gave a 7. Because I will go back and platinum it if it doesn't require you to beat the entire game again, which I'm not sure it may. But at least it offers something like that, right? I love that games do that. There should be a New Game Plus in games. They should offer something. The game shouldn't just end. You know, I think a game you should be able to go back and try to beat it in different ways, or and with a harder difficulty, something along those lines. So anyway, replayability, I give a 7. Fun factor, last category. So I had a lot of fun with this game. You've probably heard me say that. The game was fun from the time I started till the time it ended. It was always fun. It never got like stale or boring. The missions were always fun. You run into like new scenarios where, I mean, some of them are tough. You know, some of the missions are difficult. I beat the game under normal, and so you could, you know, even bump that up if you'd like. But I had a lot of fun. Taking out my first horde was a highlight. There was one issue that I was streaming. I was like, this is insane. Like, how do you do this? And it took me a while to do it. I love it. I think the game is great. It is a fun game. And that's what I'm looking for in a game, fun. You know, the graphics don't have to be the best. Performance needs to be acceptable, but not perfect. But fun factor, if that's not pretty high on your list, then you know it says a lot about a game. So fun factor, I give a 9, and if you average that out, graphics I gave an 8, performance I gave an 8, gameplay / story I gave a 9, replayability I gave a 7, and fun factor I gave a 9. I give the game an 8.2 out of 10. So I just wrote some notes at the end. I wrote, it's a long game. I don't have a ton of time. I work and I go to school full time. So I don't have a ton of time to sink into games like I used to, but I still make time. So this game, I wish I knew exactly, but it probably took me 2.5 or 3 months to beat. Let me see, the last game I beat was probably 2 months. Maybe it took 2 months to beat. You know, I did take a break because I created my own game with RPG Maker on PC. So it may have if I just really sat down and sunk all my gaming time into that game, because I also beat Defender's Quest again, so maybe it would have taken a month and a half, you know. But I play, you know, a few days a week here and there. So I don't play like every day like I used to. But anyway, it is a long game. Which is good, and you know, for certain situations. I like to have a long game being played and a short game at the same time. I'm always playing about 2 games, and then 1 handheld game usually. Anyway, notes, I wrote lots to buy and upgrade, which is cool, man. Your bike, one thing I don't know if you've played Death Stranding. I'll have to review that game. So good. But I upgraded my bike to where the gas tank was a BB, you know, like, you know, the baby in the what you hold on the front of your character in Death Stranding. It is so cool. So they just have, anyway, you can upgrade your bike in a number of different ways. The tires, the suspension, gas tank, every part of it, color it. You know, it's really cool. Guns you can buy and upgrade from different camps. There's so many different kinds. Anyway, there's a lot of depth to it, a lot more than you would think. And then the last thing I wrote there are some glitches, and I wrote easy mode because it offered me easy mode like 2 or 3 times, and those 2 or 3 times it like not froze up, but it would stay on the screen in the main menu. You had to close the game to fix the issue. Anyway, that's why it's not a perfect game. It's because there are some graphical hitches. But man, Days Gone is a phenomenal game. I had fun from the start all the way to the finish. Had a great ending. Man, great game. I was disappointed to learn that they are not doing a Days Gone 2. That may change in the future, but as far as I know, they're not doing a Days Gone 2. But they really should. Days Gone was a great game. Awesome. I highly recommend you play it, whether it be on PS4, PS5. I think it's even on PC. So Days Gone definitely gets a recommendation from me. So anyway, follow me on my social media. I'll have links to them in the description. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.